Welcome back to my video on Elton John's greatest love songs, my personal selection of my favourite 30 Elton John love songs. This is part 2, so in the first video I counted down from number 30 to number 16. Today I'm going to look at 15 to 1. At number 15 we're going for the title track from Breaking Hearts. Elton's in reflective mood here. The song is about somebody who has used others in relationships and now finds themselves isolated and lonely as a consequence of their behaviour. So it's a sad song. It's still a love song in a way, but he's saying breaking hearts, well, it's not what it used to be. An unusual melody for Elton, but it really grows on this one. From their early touring days, Bernie wrote a song about the tiny dancer. Was it addressed to his partner at the time? We probably think so, although it's slightly elusive in its lyrics. But it describes this sort of idyllic time on the road and these feelings of intense love. So this is Tiny Dancer, of course, from Madman Across the Water. It's had a great resurgence, this song, recently. We don't need to say too much about it, except it's an unusual structure because it's got a very, very long verse. But it's such a strong song that it can hold that long verse and take us into the refrain. Indeed, you might argue that this is one of Elton's most beautiful verses that he has set. Now, number 13 is Love Song from Tumbleweed Connection. This is written by Leslie Duncan, and it's a simple declaration of love. It's very simple lyrics, it's a very simple tune, but that makes it even more effective. Elton's vocal on here is lovely. It's restrained, it's held back, it's just enough. That's all we need. And there's some backing vocals from Leslie Duncan herself on this. Now, this song has been covered by some other big artists as well, including Neil Diamond, Dionne Warwick, and David Bowie. And Leslie Duncan was a relatively unknown figure. I mean, she did record some albums herself in the 70s, but she kind of withdrew from that, but having left us with this absolutely gorgeous song. Number 12 is Blues for Baby and Me from Don't Shoot Me. This is a travelling song. It's about heading west. It's about getting away with your loved one. It's a kind of cinematic story song that's been created by Bernie. It's a slow song, but it works. It packs a real punch. The refrain is gorgeous, great harmonies, and it's got this sitar accompaniment which gives it that sort of slightly mystical look. We're patient with this song because it delivers. Number 11, we're going to 21 at 33 and the song Little Genie. This is lyrics from Gary Osborne, who seems to have quite a skill at creating these sort of short, almost perfect love songs, and in combination with Elton, you get this great bit of pop, don't you? Just 3 minutes of glorious pop. Reminds me a little bit of Daniel, this one, in terms of the setting that we've got there. Elton, I think, contributed that line about acrobat, so the jury's still out on that line, maybe. But a simple message here: I want you to be my love. I won't be cruel to you. It's addressing somebody, a loved one. I don't think Gary Osborne has actually said who it's about, but that he did have somebody in mind when he wrote it. Interesting note I saw on the internet about this is that it's an unusual song and that the title is in the verse but not the refrain. I'm sure there's many other Elton John songs like that, but that might make a video all on its own. We're going to Gary Osborne again for track number 10. It's Shine On Through from A Single Man. This is a song of devotion. It's got a fairly simple piano accompaniment and a bit of orchestra coming in there as well. He wishes he wasn't in love, but he can't help it, and it's now over. So this falls into the second category, if you like, of love songs. The first category is appreciating somebody else, perhaps at the beginning of a relationship or wanting that to happen. The second category is lamenting that loss. It's a great setting, very powerful song for me, from one of my favourite Elton albums. 9 is from the Aida soundtrack, and it's a partnership with the Leanne Rhymes. It's Written in the Stars, with words by Tim Rice. This is about a moment in time. It's about them being resigned to fate. They can never meet again. It's passionate. The two voices work really well together here, and it's almost sort of an anthem. You may criticise for being slightly overproduced in a sort of a Disney-ish sort of way, but it's still a very strong song which packs a punch. I would also mention on this album a song called Amneris's Letter, which is sung by Shania Twain. Very short song, but also a very beautiful song. If you want to send a message of love to somebody, think about sending that one. Number 8 is Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me from the Caribou album. Now, we can't say too much more about this because it's so well known and possibly suffers from overplaying. It's still a great song though. Interestingly, Elton didn't like it at the time. He didn't think it was going to be successful. So it's a bit of a slow grower in that sort of sense. It's another one of those songs that's got slow verses, but again, we don't mind because it builds up to such a thrilling and memorable refrain in this one. It's magisterial, it's memorable, it works great live, of course, and we have that other version with George Michael. Now, number 7 has got Tim Rice lyrics again. This is Can You Feel the Love Tonight, which is, of course, from the Lion King soundtrack. Elton's given this a perfect melody, those lovely walk down chords in the refrain. It seems to be about love in general as kind of a context rather than devoted to one other person. So maybe it shouldn't be included, I don't know. But again, it's a highlight of his career. It's a song that he's going to be remembered for. Obviously aimed perhaps more at the sort of the family audience rather than a mature audience from this, but so successful in what it set out to do. Number 6 is the title track from The One. One of Elton's most memorable and powerful settings here. Bernie Taupin lyrics. It's a slow build up in that verse, but a great refrain when we get to it. Good melody, powerful chords there. Okay, the drumming may not be to everybody's taste, but it's still an excellent song that really works well live, actually. Number 5, we're going to Tumbleweed Connection for Come Down in Time. One of my very favourite Elton John songs. This is about a lover's meeting late in the evening, in the early hours perhaps. Will it take place? It's a great lyric by Bernie, this one. It's about kind of an unresolved relationship, I suppose. This clandestine meeting, so atmospheric in the lyrics, and Elton's given it this lovely jazzy treatment. Now, he's done 2 versions of this. There's a much longer jazzy one, very interesting. Also, the version on here is just divine, actually, and I think one of his very greatest moments. Now, number 4 is a rarity called Sweetheart on Parade, with lyrics by Gary Osborne. This is uncollected. Indeed, it's almost unrecorded because the only thing we appear to have on this is a piano demo in which Elton unfortunately makes a mistake towards the end of the recording on the lyrics. Now, does this exist anywhere else actually on CD or any other proper recording? I really would like to know. Please tell me if you know anything about it. Now, it's got a haunting melody. He's in love with a local girl. He's famous. He has everything, but it's not working out. Everybody loves me, but the only person I want is you. Now, if you don't know this song, absolutely beautiful melody from Elton here. I wish this had been included on a studio album. So give it a listen, see what you think. It's just really classy, I think. Now, we're probably getting a little bit predictable here, but number 3 is Your Song. It could have been number 1, of course. An absolutely legendary recording on this. I've talked about this record before, so I won't say too much more now, except to say its conversational tone in the lyric, and it's almost the lyric that makes this. Makes it so easy to communicate its message. Now, this must have been used countless times by people sending a message of love to somebody who's really special to them. So a great piece of work by Bernie. Elton's recording and his composition, absolutely perfect. It's 3 minutes of absolute perfection. Number 2 on my list of favourite Elton John love songs is Live Like Horses from the Big Picture album. This is a song about sort of yearning for something that might happen in the future. Maybe current problems are preventing that from happening, and one day we will live like horses. So it's an extended sort of metaphor that Bernie's used here. It's got a very slow verse, takes a bit of getting through in a way, but the delivery on the refrain is just perfection, and so powerful and so moving. It means a lot to me personally, for sort of circumstances where this song was important to me. And that can make a song special in a way, can't it? Elton's own version on this is very good. There was another version that he recorded with Luciano Pavarotti, which is also very powerful. There's a gospel choir back in there. You might say it's a little bit corny, I don't know, but I really love it, and every time I hear it, I find it very moving. Now, number one for me has got to be from Blue Moves, Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word. Now, this was the song that I first heard back in the 1970s on the radio, I think, and I thought, I like that. I wonder what else this guy does. And I started listening to other Elton John tracks, other Elton John albums, and after that, I've been sort of obsessed with his work. And sometimes that sort of song that is a way into an artist is special to us. This one works really well. I think it's very moving, as we know. It's got questions in the verse. What do I got to do to make you love me? What do I got to do to make you care? What have I got to do to make you care? A little bit like the Chloe song, isn't it? That's also got questions in the verse. And I think that draws us in. Elton's given it, a lovely melody. It's very moving. It's got quite a high vocal range in this. It's been covered by a lot of artists. One of those I like particularly is Ray Charles, who did this as a duet with Elton. But lots of other artists have looked at it. And of course, this is one that's been a staple of Elton John's live performance. A little bit over familiar, maybe, so that could just taint our judgment slightly, but it's just a great piece of writing, slightly sort of continental feel to it as well, I think. So those are my 30 selections. I'll put a link below to a playlist. You can listen to all of those straight off, those 30. Please let me know about your favourite Elton John love songs, and if you can tell me why you like them as well, that's even more interesting. I'll do a follow-up video picking up on some of your comments. Just tell me your top 3 or 5 or 10, whatever you want to do. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, we're still standing.